What are your thoughts on protein shakes for kids?
It's not a subject I have thought about very much. I can't imagine like a great reason for a kid to be consuming protein powder / ready to drink shakes under the age of 12 or 13. I guess I'm thinking of myself personally here. Whereas when I started strength training and kind of got into that world, I was like, okay, I want a protein shake after my lift. And not that there was any huge benefit to it, just like there's not a huge benefit to it for an adult if they can get that protein from whole food sources. Yeah, I don't have a lot of thoughts. I would say that it's definitely not necessary for kids.
I agree. I would say it's not necessary, but I also don't think it's bad, right? Like if I have a kid who like, if I know, because one thing that, I've learned just from having kids and really specifically my toddler is, and by the way, she's never had a protein shake, but she does drink milk and like there's a lot of protein in that and I have no fucking problem with that. And so if I knew that she was like very picky, because some kids are really picky. Like some kids are really, 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 really picky. And so if I knew my kid wasn't getting enough protein, I'd have no problem putting in I wouldn't use even a whole scoop. I'd probably use like a quarter of a scoop. So it gets an extra like, I don't know, 8 grams or something of protein. Like no problem. That wouldn't be an issue at all. But I think the main priority is get them to find real foods that they enjoy that are also high protein. Whether that's regardless, we're not going to go through every freaking food that's high protein, but the main priority is get them to learn to eat foods that they enjoy that are higher in protein. And then I would say if they want to, especially as they get into lifting and strength training, letting them explore that as well. I also for me, I don't have that many protein shakes. Like I don't regularly have them. It's usually only if I'm at a point where I'm lacking on a certain day, and that will either if I'm preloading the day because I know it's going to be a really busy day and it's going to be hard for me to sit down and have meals, or if at the end of the day I know I struggled to get it in and I don't want to have like a whole food. I just want to get it in at that point. But so my daughters don't see me having many protein shakes. But I wouldn't have an issue if they did, is the thing. I think, again, the priority should be on let's prioritize whole foods so you can get used to eating those and not relying on supplements. But also, again, like I don't think it's a bad thing.
My biggest concern is around the lack of regulation in the supplement industry. Like if it was guaranteed what was on the label was actually in the product, I would adopt your position 100%. There's a part of me that has to have high trust in a brand. It's almost like the, pet owners give their sick dog like a higher percentage of the antibiotic than they would actually give themselves. Like I'll do things that are suboptimal for me that I wouldn't do if I had a child, for example. And there are, it's a very short list, but there are companies who I would trust enough to be okay with it. But that would be even a bigger concern would be there being things in that product that aren't on the label.
Yeah. Yeah. Even then, I mean, I really only use Legion and I trust them implicitly. So like, that's not something that I'm concerned about. But like, if I was going to a GNC or whatever, or just like a random supplement store and buying one off the rack, I probably wouldn't be doing that. But for something like Legion, which I absolutely trust, I have no issues with that whatsoever. But again, like she hasn't had any of that yet and won't for a long, long time. So yeah.
I also like Whole Foods just to teach and build the habit of prioritizing whole foods.
Yeah, completely agree.